One of the reasons I'm here today is that I'm going to be speaking to a lot of students that are going into the, I would say, service, like helping addicts and helping alcoholics. And then I'm speaking with at-risk youth tonight. I think the most important message that anybody could deliver is that any problem that you have with alcohol, with any problem that you have, is going to get worse with alcohol and drugs in your life. That's all, it's just going to get worse. And any problem you have is going to get better without alcohol and drugs. If I'm having trouble with my parents and I'm drinking and using drugs, it's only going to get worse. My personal history with substance abuse was I had an uncle that turned me on to grass when I was 8 years old. And sometimes people go, oh my God. But the reality is, if your son is 14 and 15 and you've got a 10, 11-year-old sibling, chances are there's going to turn them on to drugs. So he turned me on to weed. And then from weed, we ended up shooting heroin and at 12. And then, because he was 16 then, I think. And then from there it was just, I went down from then on. I was using drugs and drinking constantly and in trouble all the time and going to the penitentiary and until I turned my life around, until I, I can't do this, and I realized that I was powerless over alcohol and drugs. Everything, well, I'll just quit on my own. You can't, you're powerless. So you have to have some kind of help, some kind of self-help, some kind of counseling. But any counselor worth their soap, if you're drinking and using drugs, they will tell you, let's get into a self-help program first, and we will work with you in conjunction. I first learned about self-help programs in 1959. In 1968, I was involved in a prison riot. I went to the hole, and I realized that I was going to die in prison, or I was going to get drugs and alcohol out of my life. It was like when you finally realize, wait a minute, it's like, what is the problem? And a lot of people say that the problem is living. Well, if you're using drugs and alcohol, that's the problem. Drugs and alcohol for a long time were the answer to my life. And when I took drugs and alcohol out of my life and I dedicated my life to doing something else, helping other people, my life got progressively better. I got to say, going to meetings and realizing that alcohol and drugs mean prison for me. Alcohol and drugs mean death. Alcohol and drugs mean insanity. If I leave the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, my counseling, if I leave that, I will die, go insane, or go to jail.